Hello everyone, I'm Swati. I'm an RCA licensed clinical psychologist and I've been working in the field of mental health since last 7 years. I hope all of you are doing well and preparing well for your upcoming interviews. So whenever we talk about the interview process and interview setting in general, the whole thing can be quite anxiety provoking, and I'm sure all of you would have experienced this at one point or the other in your life. So preparing good answers for the common interview question is one way of going about it, when you can appear very confident, competent to the interviewer. And in most of the interview settings and processes, it is crucial for you to put across the message to the interviewer that you are trustworthy and capable for the job. But whenever you are trying to communicate with the interviewer, a small part of the interview will comprise of the verbal aspect and rest of it will depend on your body language. So body language boils down to what you are trying to communicate without speaking. And even the recent research studies have suggested that only 7% of your communication are the actual words that you say. 38% are certain vocal elements, and 55% is your non-verbal things like your facial expression, your gestures, and your postures. So through this video and through this session, I am going to talk about the major aspects of body language that you have to take care of while you're appearing for an interview process. So the first one is adapting or adopting an engaged posture. So think about your body posture. It is very natural for people to do things like slouching in the chair or trying to fold their arms. So in that way, they are trying to make themselves look smaller in front of the interviewer, and that will somewhere signal to the interviewer that you are being nervous and defensive. So instead of doing that, what you have to do is you try to open your body. Don't cross your legs or fold your arms, and engage and lean forward from the waist. And this will give the appearance to the interviewer that you are interested, right? The second important aspect is that you appear calm and relaxed. I think this is one of the most important aspects of the interviewing process, because if you are jiggling about a lot in your chair, playing with the button in your shirt, playing with your ring and playing with your hair, you are obviously going to appear anxious and nervous. And certainly the interviewer is not going to be inclined to have any confidence in you. So you have to take deep breaths before the interview, and whenever you feel anxious during the interview process itself, try to engage in some sort of slow breathing. That will reduce down the autonomic arousal, and that will reduce the heart rate and will help you to focus better while you're communicating with the interviewer. The third important part is using the right hand gesture. So keep the hand gesture steady and only to emphasize certain points. Like palm upward can indicate and signify that whatever you're trying to say is honest and trustworthy. Touching your heart can signify that whatever you're trying to say is genuine. Stepping can be a sign of confidence versus clasping your fingers and hands like this, or fidgeting can be a sign of nervousness. So you have to avoid those things while you are interacting with the interviewer. The next important part is mirroring the interviewer. So one important thing that is common for all sorts of interaction is that whenever we see people who are very much similar to us, we are inclined to, like them, we are inclined to get attracted towards them. So in the interview setting also, this rule applies. But you have to take care of the fact that you don't copy each and everything that your interviewer does. So it needs to be done in a very subtle way, like mirroring certain hand movements, mirroring certain gestures, or mirroring the rate, tone, and pace with which the person talks. So in that way, both you and the interviewer will feel at ease, and you will be able to build rapport with the interviewer, and that will somehow make the whole process a little bit smooth. The next part is getting your eye contact right. So interviewees often avoid the gaze of the interviewer. They try to look down and they'll try to look in all the possible direction, and they just try to avoid the interviewer. So that will obviously put across the message that you are scared, you are nervous, and that will obviously hamper the whole process. So you alternate your gaze between your left eye, right eye, and maybe after every 3 seconds. And for panel interviews, make sure that you look at everybody, but specifically focus attention on the person who's asking you questions, right? And the next important part is you have to avoid lying signals. So there are certain behaviors that indicate that you are being unfaithful in some way or you're lying. One of them is deviating eye contact. Second is sudden changes in the speech or the tone of your volume. Third is sudden pauses or silence. Fourth is throat clearing. Fifth is stammering. And sixth is fidgeting. So you have to try to avoid all of these things. And the phrase that action speaks louder than words definitely holds true during the job interview, right? So while you cannot work on all the body language aspects and you cannot control and regulate them, at least effort should be made to take care of the things that you can control. And at the end of this, I just want to say one thing, that confidence is not about I know they'll like me and I know they're going to like me. It's more about I am okay even if they don't, right?